Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So, Trevor, we don't have a lot of time to
I know.
talk about a
We don't want to get
really
cut off.
interesting topic, and that's payments. And we talk to our users a lot. And there's two things that are constantly being mentioned, and that's I want to trade better and more successful, and I want to use my crypto for payments. This is why actually we're launching our Solflare card. It's going out in 1.5 months from now, but we also see like a lot of new other cards launching. But we're also super excited to actually explore other payment options as well, and we're super excited to partner up with Flexa too. So can you tell maybe everyone else how Flexa is different to crypto cards?
Happy to. I think when comparing Flexa with crypto payment cards like credit and debit cards, we should probably start by talking about what's similar. Both of us help connect merchants to crypto. Everything else couldn't be more different. At the end of the day, Flexa is a private, asset-agnostic, and ultimately faster and more seamless way to pay. So where you might want to pay a merchant with Pengu or Sol or a stablecoin like USDG or Stash, you can pay a merchant seamlessly and completely privacy preserving, and the merchant can receive whatever they want, and they never know a single thing about you. And so that's very different than how credit and debit cards have evolved, and that's part of the reason why we're so excited to introduce these features for Solflare users. But in terms of how we are going about doing this, there's a lot more to explore, and sure we can get into it today.
So to recap, no KYC, asset agnostic, you can pay with every coin that is available in the Flexa ecosystem. And how are you able to do all of that?
It's a good question. I think the best way to look at crypto payments companies is through kind of two axes. One is the type of approach, and the other is your direction of approach.
Okay.
Type of approach, are you using a digital-only approach, or are you using analog payment rails like credit or debit cards? And then the direction of approach is, are you starting from the blockchain and trying to approach merchants, or are you starting with merchant problems and then solving them with the blockchain? And we are squarely in the problem of merchants solving space, but we also don't touch credit or debit cards. So we're really, really focused on enabling payments that are completely settled on the blockchain, and then we sit on top of that as more of an authorization layer. So how it works is you open up the Solflare wallet, you scan your QR code, or you scan at the point of sale. You send a regular blockchain transaction over Solana Pay, and the merchant's point of sale lights up and says you're good to go. You've never touched a card, you're not sharing any data, it's not trackable or traceable. It's a completely random number that authorizes the payment. And ultimately, we care about building this both on behalf of customers and merchants, so we're trying to build something that can persist into the future, as opposed to a credit and debit card-backed system like what we have been bolting crypto onto for the last several years. We want to see something that's much more future forward.
Yeah, but still, we see actually those huge payment networks like Visa and Mastercard actually making huge commitments to integrating blockchain and basically transforming their businesses onto new blockchain rails. So how do you think of that? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hard-pressed to figure out how they would do it differently, right? Visa and Mastercard are some of the highest margin businesses on the stock exchange. They are higher profit margins than Apple, Meta, Google, Alphabet. Every single company that processes the payment through Visa and Mastercard is ultimately just enriching their profit margins because they take a cut of every single payment. And when we look at what the future of crypto looks like, I think everyone here and at this conference probably agrees, blockchains and public distributed ledgers are how money is going to move in the future. And it's not going to involve converting a blockchain into a proprietary closed network and then converting it back to a blockchain on the other side. It's just a pure replacement. And so if I was at Visa or MasterCard, I would absolutely be trying to convince my shareholders that my approach is going to exist in the future, but we just don't think that's going to be the case. And so we're trying to build a separate solution for merchants to help them connect to on-chain technologies so they don't have to pay these fees or expose their businesses to risk or worry about breaches and things like that in the future.
Got it. And I mean, that all sounds exciting, but what merchants do you actually have on? Like, who did you onboard so far? How is that going?
So when we launch in Solflare, Solflare users will be able to pay instantly and completely on-chain at Chipotle, GameStop, Regal, Barnes & Noble, Ulta Beauty, Dunkin' Donuts. We've got another large purveyor of coffee that we are excited to bring live very, very soon. Number of other large retailers that will be part of the Solflare launch. No, we've focused on building for the enterprise scale of merchants ever since we started. And so helping customers spend crypto on everyday purchases across a wide variety of verticals, that's what we're all about.
I love that. So when I didn't even think of it like 3 years ago or 4 years ago when you started Solflare that you would be able to just walk up onto the counter to a Starbucks, open up your Solflare wallet, and basically pay with exactly with USDC, Sol, or whatever it is. So it seemed like back then, it seemed like a distant dream. So I'm super excited about trying it out very, very soon and see this in reality. So for the first time.
Me too.
But okay, we know how hard and challenging it is actually to talk to some of these huge corporate companies. Like, how does the pitch look like? Like, you come in and you say, why should they accept crypto?
So I think it's worth talking for a second about how lucky we have it in crypto and how quick it is to both build against these new and rapidly evolving technologies, but also we have much smaller companies and much less bureaucracy. In fact, working with your team has been phenomenal. When we had these upcoming launches with these new merchants signing up, and we reached out to the Solana Foundation saying we're finally ready to do Solana. Who should we talk to? They pointed us straight at Solflare, and we couldn't have been happier with that. So huge thanks to your team for making this so easy. When we integrate payments at a merchant, it's like trying to unwrap a tree from an iron fence. It's been 70 years where this tree is built completely around the fence. You sometimes can't even do it. But you have to talk to 6, 7, I think our record is 13 different teams, and convince them one at a time that this is not only safe, secure, legal, but ultimately it's going to be better for their business. We think that will get easier over time, but the pitch to merchants really breaks down to one of 3 approaches. One, this is another payment method that you can add and enable to reach a broader base of customers. 2, this is crypto technology, and maybe there's somebody at the company who cares about crypto and really wants to see that push through. Or in some cases, we're doing this long slog of really trying to orange pill or purple pill somebody so that they finally get it and understand, and now they want to use crypto as well, and we move them into that second category. Takes time.
Yeah, and especially when you said that basically you need to go through 15 people and 15 clearances. You finish up with the first, and on the 14th, the first one got fired or replaced, and then you need to get it. Has it ever happened to you like that? How long does the usual sales process for such a huge corporate take long?
Oh, we're in the midst of some 8-year sales processes right now. Our motto internally is 10 steps forward, 9 steps back. So it's just a constant set of disappointments, and we have to screen when we hire for extreme patience. But at the end of the day, we believe this is how it has to be. We don't want to see the credit and debit networks of yesteryear that were built 20, 30 years before the internet be the way that we expose our data into the future. And if you think about it, there's really no way to secure a credit card payment than personal data. And that's why, my favorite story about this is that's why we have billing addresses. There was a product manager at one of the card networks trying to figure out how we make credit cards work online. The card numbers and the security codes kept getting stolen, so they thought, what's one more piece of data that we have that we can attach to this payment? And so much to the chagrin of web developers everywhere who now have to code 9 different fields to fill in your line 1, line 2, zip code, whatever, that's just a choice someone made way back when to try and secure payments. Payments don't need any of your personal data when you plug them into the blockchain. And that's what we're trying to proliferate.
That deserves an applause. I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that you need to be resilient when you want to take down like those huge payment networks that have been built for the last 50, 60, or 70 years. So kudos to that. Kudos to that. Is Flexa available only US, or are you more global?
We are partly global, so in order to pay merchants, we need certain regulatory approvals. In the US, that's money transmission licenses, take the form of other licenses abroad. We power a lot of payments, especially for small businesses down in El Salvador, and this would then enable payments in El Salvador as well. And we're focusing on expanding throughout Central and Latin America, as well as Europe and parts of Asia this year and next. So you could turn on Solflare immediately in Central America.
Is this just because of the proximity to the US, or is this for more strategic reasons?
It's more a combination of demand and regulatory progressiveness. So we've seen what's happened in El Salvador with the Bitcoin law. That's starting to make ripple effects across the rest of South America. And I think there's pent-up demand to use more stable or more convenient types of assets in those markets. So that's probably why we see that growth.
And it makes a lot of sense because most of the times those countries have high inflation, and for them, just owning stable coins is a hedge against that inflation, and they can use it in a self-custodial way to actually pay for those, store their wealth, and build their wealth. And this is also what we are up about at Solflare. So, and it's a huge market for us, and we want to give them as much as possible, like everywhere else. So. Do you have any plans on expanding to Europe, potentially?
Absolutely. We are currently exploring opening up the special European SEPA zone to enable payments throughout the EU and elsewhere. I'd say that's probably early next year at this point, but we'll be there. I'll visit you in Croatia, and we'll go and pay with Solflare somewhere in person.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No. What's next for Solflare?
What's next for Solflare? So, first of all, we have the debit card launching, and also we see huge demand there. So we have, without any incentives, without any referrals, affiliates, paid marketing, whatever, we have 25,000 people on our wait list from all over the world. I think we have 112 countries, people from 112 countries lined up. So we're really excited about that because we see there's demand. And for example, Solflare users are currently holding more than $20 billion just in Sol and USDC. So around 16 billion in Sol, 4 billion in USDC. And when we see like this huge amount of users who are holding like a huge amount of stable coins, we have to make them happy. So they have to be able to use them. First of all, payments, but then we also want them to earn. So pretty soon there will be USDC yield options in Solflare, and this also plays well into the payments narrative. So you earn, and you can instantly pay, and money is not just sitting in your account. And this is one of the superpowers of crypto, because everything can be instant, and we're all built on the same rails, and that is hopefully Solana.
Right from a single app on your phone.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. And that is the end of our time. Thank you all for
Thank you so much.
everything.